We all know that person, the friend who somehow has way too much free time. Every now and then they hit you with, "Bro, I've been working on something." And what they show you makes you pause, blink, and quietly ask yourself why this exists. No judgment. Humans love making things, but sometimes the effort-to-purpose ratio is concerning, and it's easy to think this is a modern issue. Boredom, procrastination, too much tech, too little meaning. But here's the thing. Humans have always done this, and archaeologists keep accidentally proving it by digging up ancient objects that leave us asking the same question every single time. But why? And nothing proves this better than one of the strangest discoveries ever made. Giant stone balls. Yes, balls. The stone balls of Costa Rica. Deep in the jungles of Costa Rica, archaeologists discovered hundreds of massive stone spheres scattered across river deltas and hillsides. Perfectly round, smooth, heavy, completely unnatural. They were rediscovered in the 1930s when a banana company began clearing jungle for plantations. Workers kept hitting these enormous stone balls with bulldozers, not knowing what they were. Some were cracked, some destroyed. Then someone had an idea. What if there's treasure inside? So naturally, they blew a few up with dynamite. There was no gold, just solid stone. Very disappointing stone. Once authorities stepped in, archaeologists realized something important. These spheres weren't natural. Someone made them, by hand. Over 300 of them. Some are tiny, others are over 2 meters wide and weigh up to 15 tons, heavier than an African elephant. And here's the wild part. They were made before metal tools existed, which means each sphere was shaped by hammering stone against stone, then polished for countless hours.
One eternity later.
Just to get it that smooth. And then, as if that wasn't enough, they had to be transported across rough terrain without wheels or modern machines. So the obvious question is, who would do this and why? Who made them? The best answer we have is the Diquis people, a pre-Columbian civilization that lived in the region over 1,000 years ago. But here's the problem. We barely know anything about them. No written records, no clear timeline. Most of what we know about their existence comes from these balls, and nobody knows what they were for. Some theories say they symbolized power or status, basically ancient lawn ornaments for elites. Others think they had religious or astronomical meaning. And then there's the theory I secretly love the most. They were just a thing people did. Like, hey, what if we made a perfectly round rock? Dating suggests these spheres were made for centuries, possibly over 2,000 years. And then, suddenly, they stopped. Right around the time Spanish colonization began. But oddly, European explorers never mentioned them. No drawings, no notes, nothing. Which raises uncomfortable questions. Did the people leave before Europeans arrived? Were they wiped out by disease? Did they see the ships coming and disappear? We don't know. And that's kind of the point. But stone balls aren't the only time ancient humans committed insane effort to confusing objects. Because next up, jars. The giant jars of India. In northeastern India, hidden deep in forests, archaeologists found something equally baffling. Massive stone jars. Some stand 3 meters tall. Some weigh over 10 tons, and there are hundreds of them. They're carved from sandstone, which helps, but moving them would still have been brutal. And once again, we hit the same wall. No inscriptions, no records, no instructions, just jars. Now, when archaeologists can't figure something out, there's a default explanation they reach for, probably burial-related. And to be fair, in Laos, similar jars have been found near human remains. But in India, almost none of the jars contained anything. No bones, no artifacts, no offerings, just empty stone containers, which leaves two possibilities. Either we're missing something important, or ancient humans really liked making giant jars for no clear reason. And honestly, that wouldn't even be the weirdest thing we've done. Because long before jars and stone balls, humans were already doing something extremely relatable. Doodling in South Africa's Blombos Cave, archaeologists found a small rock covered in red lines. At first, it looked meaningless, just random marks. But after years of analysis, scientists confirmed the lines were intentional, drawn using red ochre, basically a prehistoric crayon. The rock is 73,000 years old. That means some early humans stopped whatever they were doing and just started drawing lines. No animals, no symbols we understand, no clear message, just vibes. And honestly, that might be the most human artifact ever discovered. But it gets even better. because it turns out we weren't even the first in our family to do this. When other humans got bored in Indonesia, researchers found a freshwater shell engraved with zigzag patterns. The shell is around 500,000 years old, and it wasn't made by Homo sapiens. It was likely made by Homo erectus, a species we once believed wasn't capable of abstract thinking or symbolic behavior. The engraving appears deliberate, carved in a single session, likely using a shark tooth, and this discovery completely messed with our understanding of early human intelligence. Was it art? Was it symbolic? Was it marking territory? Or was it just boredom? We don't know, but suddenly, the idea that ancient humans were nothing but survival-focused machines starts falling apart. They had downtime, they had curiosity, they had moments where they probably thought, what happens if I do this? Which brings us to one last mystery. The axes that were never used in Kenya. Archaeologists discovered a site containing thousands upon thousands of stone hand axes, perfectly shaped, symmetrical, carefully crafted, and almost none of them were ever used. No wear marks, no damage, no testing. Even stranger, almost no human remains were found nearby. So what was this place? A factory? Maybe. But factories prioritize efficiency, and these axes were too perfect. Way more effort than necessary for survival tools, which leads to a strangely human explanation. These weren't tools, they were projects, displays of skill, practice, maybe even status symbols. The prehistoric version of showing someone your collection and saying, yeah, I made all of these. The big picture. We like to think modern humans are uniquely strange, but the truth is, we've always been like this. We make things that don't strictly need to exist. We invest effort into objects with unclear purpose. We doodle, we decorate, we experiment, sometimes for meaning, sometimes for status, sometimes for boredom, and sometimes just because we can. So the next time you see someone obsess over a pointless project, remember, they're not wasting time. They're participating in a tradition that goes back hundreds of thousands of years. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy stories about time, mystery, and the strange patterns that repeat throughout history, welcome to Cronyxx.